a lot of people don't understand the power of themselves, because a lot of people, because of what's happening to them, becomes pulled into the experience, and they're in the experience, having the experience, and they have no awareness that there is great power here to what they're experiencing. And to frame it in another way, just to help what I'm saying, is if you imagine, I remember my teacher saying this, if you imagine a great big elephant, mighty in power and size, enormous, and a mosquito comes along and lands on it, the elephant is not going to notice it at first. But if it keeps on coming back and it becomes more persistent, in time the elephant will lose itself in the experience of irritation, forgetting its size. Now it feels that the size of its experience is actually bigger than the size of what it is. When any of us go through anything, any form of trauma, what happens to us, it activates and it gets into the deepest part within ourselves. And we don't feel there's an emotional separation from ourselves within it. And we don't believe there is a space from the situation. For me, if you heard what I said, I took control of myself. I could not change what had happened to me, and I could not change the person who did this to me. It was already after happening. I couldn't rewrite it. But I took complete control, and I took charge of my own selfhood. And I put myself into a place of, I needed to know my why. That's what I needed for me. I needed to know the why of it. And when I sat, which is a brave thing to sit with the person who inflicts so much pain onto you, to sit with that person and make them accountable. Now, I was fortunate, not everybody gets that. So how do you get it in a wider context? You cannot do anything about the wider frame that's going on out there, but you absolutely can take solitude and find ways of getting yourself into a place whereby the why out there cannot hook you in, and you're not the hostage to the why out there. And I want people to know the power that they have within themselves. You're bigger. We are all bigger than what is happening to us. But if we don't work on loving and minding and giving what in here deserves after so much pain and suffering, it deserves compassion. It deserves to be loved. It deserves to be held. We deserve to sit in front of professionals and say, I can't do this on my own. I need someone to come in here and mind me. I need someone to come. We are, in truth, energetically, we are a community. We're meant to be connected. We grow up in a culture, that's very I orientated. We're meant to be in the I-Dao energy, which is what's going on in you should matter to me enough that I want to be in there with you and minding you. And a lot of people don't know that, so they don't know how to ask for somebody to come into that pain and be with them in the pain. You hear people feeling they're a burden. I hear it the whole time. I have a beautiful friend going through something. She's like, oh, I don't want to be bothering you. I don't want to be taking you into the place I'm in. I'm like, no. For humanity to heal, for us all to heal, we have to heal. In truth, we have to heal ourselves. It has to be ourselves first. As within, as without, you have to start with the healing of oneself. If you want sustainable change, even in climate change, in war, in any of these huge topics, for sustainability on this planet, you have to work with your inner interiority, because if that's not healed, I promise you, it is in the unconscious, it is being activated. Our institutions are set up on the unhealed stuff. Our politicians, political energy is also influenced by the unhealed stuff. So we people out there, decision makers, who have unresolved, unhealed stuff in them. And here we are, it becomes the framework, the blueprint, the grid for the rest to have to live within and under. We have to, and that's the message for me with people. I've done it. I really did do it. So it's not that we cannot. And I really did do it. And the person that I had to do it to, just to give the seriousness of it, was actually with the vibration of my own father. It was my father I had to do this with, which was massive for anyone to do. So, and I just want to anchor that. You've made me very passionate in asking me that question, but I do believe in that. If we want to heal and you want sustainability on this planet, you have to turn in, you have to heal. You're responsible for this inner interiority. Everything comes out of here. Everything. How you are, cause and effect. Your inner state of being creates your mindset, and your next action and your next reaction. Cause,